I'm probably gonna lose followers for this one, but I need to tell you guys that I was wrong about something that I said a few videos ago. I did a video that got 500,000 views. It was about why your belly sticks out even though you're lean. You can have this problem even if you're overweight, but it's easier to detect when you're lean because imagine you have visible abs, but they protrude out like this. And if your butt's sticking out like that, if you got anterior pelvic tilt, you know, this posture, I coined the term duck bod to describe it because you basically look like a duck, you know, and this comes with a lot of functionality problems, not just appearance problems, and pain too. I said that the root cause of this was the TVA and that everything else was just symptoms, but it turns out that the TVA, your transverse abdominal muscles, being way too weak is also just a symptom. I found out that if you go lower down in the kinetic chain, it starts in your feet. I found out the feet, guys. So if you have weakness and muscle imbalances in your feet, it will travel up and eventually affect your TVA as well. And I just discovered that I have these issues with my feet. And I found out about this because of a comment that one of you guys left. Thank you for that, because it sent me down this rabbit hole, and this stuff is confirmed. It's not some pseudoscience thing. It's scientifically confirmed that if you can't spread your toes out like this, then there's something wrong with the muscles in your feet, and your posture in your feet is out of whack. And so I was like, I'm pretty sure I could do that with my toes, right? And so I took out my foot, and what do you know? I can't spread my toes out. Like, I can't do it. And it's the craziest thing, because I used to think that people that were able to spread their toes out, that did that, were like weird. They were like different, like they had some weird ability. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I thought that was like double jointed type of thing. No, it's how our feet are supposed to be. Because if you look at a baby's feet, that's how their feet are at birth. They do that. They're supposed to be able to do that. And then we start wearing shoes, the wrong type of shoes over time, and it squishes your feet together, and then your foot starts losing muscle power, functionality, range, and these muscle imbalances cause all sorts of problems in stability, balance, and strength, and it connects and travels up your legs, and eventually you have power and functionality problems and stability problems and posture problems in your legs, and then in your glutes, in your lower back, in your TVA, and it travels up your kinetic chain. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the exercises that someone that has strong feet should be able to do. By the way, the reason why the TVA stuff works, even though it is just another symptom, is because it's the central part of your kinetic chain. So treating that symptom directly is going to do a lot more than treating other smaller symptoms directly. Like, for example, stretching your tight hip flexors to fix your tight hip flexors. Working out the TVA is going to fix your tight hip flexors a lot more effectively than just stretching them directly, and doing nothing else actually won't help at all. So that's why a lot of you guys are reporting immediate results and pain relief just by strengthening the TVA. But guys, I was wrong about it starting in the TVA. It doesn't start there. It starts with the feet for a lot of people. The bottom of your kinetic chain, that's where my bad habits and my life started. And I'm just going back thinking to all the problems and balance problems I had with basketball, skating, a lot of exercises that I lack balance in that I shouldn't, because I've done a lot of sports in my time, like skateboarding, snowboarding, surfing, that require balance, yet my balance is still so off. And now I know it's because of my feet. And so I can't splay my toes out like I'm supposed to. And so I'm going to show you guys the exercises that are compiled together that I'm going to be doing to strengthen my feet from beginner to advanced, and you're gonna see me in real time get better at these, hopefully. Okay, and then another thing is grounding more, walking barefoot outside in the grass, in the dirt, mushing your feet into the ground, moving around. I'm gonna start doing that a lot more often, and just be barefoot as much as I can, and really also examine the shoes that I'm wearing, because I wear cowboy boots a lot that are like, you know, they squish the feet and they're so comfortable to wear, but I don't think they're very good for the toes. So I might end up getting a new pair of shoes too, like with a wider toe box. because the wide toe box cowboy boots, they're still too narrow. And honestly, I'm not like, oh great, another part of my body that I need to do all this stuff to fix. Like, I'm honestly really excited about this because there's a lot of things that I struggle with. Like, for example, back squats. Pretty much every girl at the gym could do back squats at a heavier weight than I can. And I thought it was just because, oh, I have a weak back. And then I was like, oh, I just gotta strengthen my lower back. And then I realized my TVA, like, oh, that's also causing back problems. Strengthen my TVA and then I'll be able to do, but it just seems like something else, like my weakness was at such a severe level. Like, there's gotta be other stuff wrong too. And sure enough, what do you use when you do back squats? Your glutes, your legs, your whole legs, your feet, your ankles, your knees, your lower back. So all of this stuff, like my whole lower body seems weaker than my upper body. And now I know why. And pretty soon it's going to start getting into this kinetic chain imbalance is going to keep going up. But I'm excited because this is another angle that I could start fixing my kinetic chain from. And imagine, I'm excited to see my balance improve, my strength improve. Like, you could run faster, you'll be able to do back squats, you'll be able to do deadlifts, like all the stuff that you see other people doing that you just can't because you feel too weak. You start feeling pain and you can't pinpoint your issue, why your form is always off. No matter how much you try to look in the mirror and correct it, it's because your kinetic chain is off. And so I'm super excited to get my kinetic chain right again, and you guys get to do this with me. All right, so let's get started with these foot exercises. We're gonna do these outside. I think that's gonna be best. And we're gonna be doing it barefoot, of course, grounding on the earth. Also, I just want to mention really quick that I worked with personal trainers a year each, and these guys were young, they were jacked, they were strong. They probably never experienced the type of issues that I'm talking about. They would try to help me correct my form when it came to doing back squats and deadlifts and stuff, and they would look at my form, they would correct it and be like, all right, you're good to go. And I would look at my form in the mirror, compare it to, I would record myself and compare the form to people showing correct form online as well. And it still would lead to pain, and it would still, even though it looked like my form was correct, if you don't know about these issues, it's gonna be a lot harder to detect. Okay, and so if your kinetic chain is just screwed up that bad, you can't just correct your form on the fly. Just like I can't spread my toes out on the fly. It's going to take progressive work to get your muscles strengthened to the point to where they can do that. Okay, it takes a long time to screw up your kinetic chain, and it's going to take a little bit of time to fix it too. So you got to be a little patient. And the key to doing this long term is just replacing a lot of bad habits with good ones. And before I do this, guys, I don't want to see any weird comments about, oh, you got a OnlyFeets and OnlyFans? Do you got a feet fancy? I don't want to see that shit, okay? The first exercise is, don't say nothing about my feet. Put your feet, you're just going to look at your feet, basically. You can do this anywhere. And you're going to try to spread out your toes. And you're just going to sit there and fail. Because I can't spread out my toes for nothing. I'm trying. And so you just contract back. And you just do this. This is one of the most common ways to fix this problem. Make a habit out of this. You don't have to just confine it to a routine if you're watching TV or whatever, but don't be careful. Don't give yourself a cramp. You know, take it slowly at first. Just do 3 sets of 10, couple of seconds each, holding it. You know, do this every day. Start making a habit out of it. Second exercise, we're gonna go outside. By the end of your third set on the toe splaying, you should be able to move them just a little bit like I was, because I was able to. If I was able to do it, I think chances are that you can too. But we're gonna do that exercise again at the very end of this whole routine to see if they've just become a little more, I don't know, just to see if I can spread them out a little more after doing all these other movements. But I am barefoot out here, and this ground is pretty rough because it's not hydrated. But I don't care. I'm gonna get used to it. Kind of dig my feet into the ground. And the first thing I'm gonna try to do is balance on one leg for a minute straight. And if I can't do that, like, then I got a lot of work to do. I just gotta basically practice that until I'm able to. So here we go, balancing on one leg for a minute straight.
Yesterday was leg day and my glute is feeling really sore and tired. I didn't know this was such a glute workout, but I think I'm having an easy time doing this because I've been practicing shrimp squats, which are one-legged. I fall over a lot during them, but I've done some movements. So if you're not able to balance on one leg for a full minute, then you probably have a slightly worse version, or you're probably in a worse stage than I am. But hopefully you can at least do this. It's okay if you can't, just practice it until you're able to. And this is my first time going through this whole thing. So I picked out all these exercises and this is my first attempt at doing them to see where I'm at. So it's sort of a diagnostic test. If I'm able to do, since I'm able to do 60 seconds on both legs, it looks like, no problem. I'm gonna weed this out of the routine for myself and start with, I'm just not going to include this anymore because I could already do it just fine, and I'm already doing shrimp squats, which is already including this. So we'll see how I do with the second one. So after you're done doing 60 seconds on both legs, next thing you're going to do is lifting up basically a single leg calf raise. All the way extended. That's a lot more difficult. So try to do 10. I'm gonna try to do 10 without losing my balance like I just did. 10 in a row. I started getting a phone call, so I had to start all over, but here we go. 10 in a row. Trying to do like a decent controlled rise instead of just like popping up. Trying to do a rise that actually requires balance. I feel like the more slowly and controlled I could do it, the better. So even though I did 10, they weren't very controlled, and so I'm going to keep that in the routine so I'm able to do it without wobbling all over the place and going at different speeds. Let's do the left one now. I actually tried these before and I wasn't able to do it this well last time, although I was doing it off a ledge. I think that's 9. Not too bad, but I'm gonna keep that one in the routine for sure. So this last one is basically just gonna be holding a squat and being able to have your toes pointing forward, your feet forward, shoulder width apart, and then squat down without having to go forward on your toes or backwards on your heels without falling over. Being able to hold this position for 60 seconds. Now this is a little bit higher up in the kinetic chain. We were working more on the toes and the feet, and this is more ankle stability right here. So my ankle stability seems pretty good so far. So I'm actually gonna go back to the one-legged, just standing on one leg, and to see if I could do it without, if I could stand perfectly still for a minute straight on each leg, then I'll weed it out of the equation. Because I think I was moving around a bit, trying to challenge myself, but I think it might be more challenging and more telling if I could try to stay in the same exact position the whole time. This is tiring for my quads, but yeah, pretty sure I can maintain this position with a straight back too. Make sure your back is straight, not hunched over. This is especially difficult because yesterday was leg day and I'm very sore. So yeah, I'm just gonna assume that's a minute. I'm pretty sure I could do a full minute. A lot better when it's not the day after leg day. I'm gonna go back inside for the last exercise, and while I was filming this, I kept getting calls for my business, and I decided another new habit that I'm gonna add in is when I'm here at the house getting business calls, I'm just gonna take off my shoes, walk outside barefoot the whole time during the call like I just did right now, and just get used to trying to splay my toes out while I'm out here walking around. And you can be grounding while you're doing this, which is really good for your body, really good for inflammation. So we're gonna come back full circle and do the first exercise again, and let's see if I can spread my toes out better. No, pretty much. Whoop. Pretty much. I think there's a small difference. Not very noticeable, but this pinky toe went out more. My two medium toes are spreading out more on this one. Yeah, so I think a little bit. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep doing this every day, and hopefully I will have really good results to show you guys soon.
By the way, I just ordered these. They haven't come in the mail yet, but I'm gonna start using them. A lot of people are reporting a lot of progress with these, and they might even work better than doing all the exercises that I just showed you. But I'm not gonna find that out because I'm gonna keep doing both because I want to do everything that I can to fix this. And so I recommend that you do the same. If you guys want to try these out with me, the link is below in the description. They're only $10. And basically, I don't think I could wear them while I have my shoes unless I get like special shoes for them. I'm not going to do that yet because I'm not trying to spend all that money on this. But I walk around barefoot a lot around my house. So I'm just going to wear them as often as possible while I'm here around the house. And let me know if you guys have any questions or comments about this. And thank you for watching.